Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to Guided Abroad. I'm on a scouting trip that began in Morocco and has now brought me to Italy, following intuitive insights and trying to understand what it all means for the future. In today's episode, I hit a wall. Fear, resistance, and old patterns come up, just as I'm being called into deeper guidance and expansion. If you've ever stood at a crossroads in your work or life, unsure about whether to follow the calling or retreat back into what's familiar, this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Well, friends, I woke up this morning on the second day in Lecce, feeling this certainty based on yesterday's welcoming experiences. But then I started to notice that this really is a liminal space. I haven't quite decided, and yet I'm also very clear that what's been in the past doesn't work anymore. Overall, what I feel rising out of that is fear. I feel scared about what I'm being called to. And when I feel scared, my habit is to take control. I become a doer and I overdo. So now I'm feeling my impulses in high gear. I notice that I have to break this pattern because I'm thinking about, where am I going to find an apartment? What are the right neighborhoods for me? I'm downloading apps. I've just gone into high gear of going into the next thing, but I've only just arrived here. It's too soon to be making the plans. It's too soon to be acting like I've decided. So I pull myself back. I have to interrupt the pattern or else I'll lose the entire week that I'm here spinning in my head. So I'm noticing that I've got to get back in the moment. To do that, I take myself to the park. Take my shoes off, put my feet on the ground, pull myself back into the present moment. And I call in my guides because I go to them when I lose my way. And I feel like in this moment, somehow I've lost my way. And it was really interesting. My guides, they came in strong, more powerful than ever before. I could tell that in addition to the desert ancestors that I picked up in Morocco, now I've activated my access to my Italian ancestors. And so the ancestry is just growing and growing around me in the supportive hug of unconditional love. Even though now I'm feeling supported and held, I feel overwhelmed by so much of their energy, so much bigger than I've ever experienced. So I take a second and invite them to perform an upgrade on my energy. And once they've done that, I harmonize our energy together. And then I hit that ease that I was looking for. But even after having done all that, my attitude starts to sour again. I start to get in my head again. Why do I have to do this? There's such diversity in the United States. Can't I just go to a different community in the United States? If you've been following along on this journey, you know that I've already asked all these questions before and been given very clear answers, but I'm right back to it again. So I'm in resistance mode. My head is just spinning out of control. So if you're ever thinking that I look like I'm just riding through bliss on this journey, I want this episode to be the one that assures you that I spin out and I have my moments. I'm having one on this day. As I think about Morocco and compare it to what I'm feeling now in Italy, I talk to my guides and I say, hey guys, I know I got resistant on Morocco, but look, in the end, I didn't even have to go there. I completed the mission. I did the work and the work got done and I didn't have to go there. And now I'm in Italy. So what's to say I wouldn't even need to come here? Why can't this be easier? And one of my frequent speaking guides is my Aunt Janet. She passed years ago. And she does a great job at advising me. Excuse me. Whew. And in this moment, she reminds me how important it is that I break out of the old patterns so that I can find my family outside of the expectations and limitations of my blood family. And she says to me, it is time for a new pattern. It is time for a new solution. And then another guide that speaks often through me, and this guide is named Aladash, and he's a member of the Galactic Council. And he says, Sarah, the decision is not what you think it is. It's not a decision of whether you come or you go. This is a decision about whether you're going to be who you are or not. Are you going to be who you are, or are you going to be who what others want you to be? Or are you going to be what you want you to be so that others will approve of you? As I sat there and thought about that, Janet drops another bombshell on me. She says, it's true. You may not need to move anywhere if you would just simply allow. But we think you'll still want to. This caught me so from left field. Maybe it shouldn't have. Maybe I should have seen it coming based on the experience in Morocco and how we were able to do the work without making a permanent or a long-term move. But what she says now is just allow. And if I connect that with what Aladash says, what you need to allow is for you to be yourself. So if I allow my true self to be expressed fully in this moment, in this life, I may not need to move at all. I feel like this is a crossroads moment. And I've noticed that I've been at this crossroads before. I was at this crossroads 15 years ago. I was at this crossroads 10 years ago. And now I'm at this crossroads now. And I'm thinking maybe third time's the charm. Maybe I make it through, because the other times I pulled back. And so I ask you to take a look in yourself while I'm looking in myself. Where have you been called to a crossroads that you haven't stepped through? And are you ready? Do you have the courage this time to carry on and to move through to the other side of where you're meant to be?
You've been listening to Guided Abroad with me, Sarah Cook. What crossroads are you standing at? What part of you is ready to be expressed more fully? Let me know in the comments or by emailing me at podcast@sarahcook.com. I love hearing from you. Until next time, keep going within to lead beyond.